questions or comments?
I just love the parallels again of just how, things that fit with, like you said, the United States, right from the Pilgrims to where we are today. And it's encouraging to me because it shows you what you can see what the future holds.
What came to me is how you speak of how other churches don't really tell truths. And I know, I'm not bragging on me now, but there was a time when, I say he was in his late 50s, he's a medicine man, Indian. We were dealing with horses back and forth, and we sat on his tailgate and spoke for about an hour. And he told me about their ceremony about being reborn, leaving, but they get tied to a pole. I can't remember all this. And I said, well, we have the same ceremony. It's called baptism, where we are reborn. He said, how does that? And I explained the way real baptism, and he said, no white man has ever told me that before.
Really?
So weird how, and he had gone to churches, but what do they teach at churches? Sprinkle as a kid and you're done? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not teaching much of any substance.
And it was so weird, and we hugged for, well, never mind. It was a manly
hug?
Yeah.
For a long time.
That's good.
Not, no.
Yeah, wasn't too long, I hope.
It was so weird that we were talking about Indians. That came to me, and I don't know why it came to me, so I had to get it out.
Yeah.
And how Isaac sat with the pagan guy, and they had dinner and
had an agreement.
I forgot to even mention, that's like Thanksgiving.
Also, Jesus.
What you just mentioned there, they're having a feast. They did make peace agreements with one another at times, but
collectors, when Jesus ate with the non-believers that time, and why is he eating with those pagans? And remember that one?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, I think the self-righteous, you could go, there could be two bad ways of approaching non-believers. Self-righteousness, where you're too good to be there for them, or the person that's going there like a puppy dog, panting and begging them to believe in Jesus. It's just following and being an actual Christian is the opportunities will come when it's right. And it's easy to do when you first become a Christian, and your eyes are enlightened to the truth. You want to tell everybody. I can remember back in the day that I would kind of be like that. I'd be like really begging people to believe in Jesus. Now I get around an atheist or whatever. If I'm talking to him and he's saying he doesn't believe or whatever, I don't care. I care for him. I'll pray for him, but I'm not going to sit there and beg him. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. This brings up another thing here. I forgot to bring it up in the study, but we talked about the ELCA in the that group of people that church, that one of the groups of churches that signed on to the We Are Christians Against Christian Nationalism. Well, I was talking to a guy the other night at a social gathering, and he was I wasn't specifically. He was talking to somebody else. I overheard the conversation. He was talking about how his parents are part of the ELCA, but neither of them are actual believers. And this guy's actually an atheist, and he said his dad actually led him to atheism. In other words, he was basically admitting that his parents go to church, are very active in this church, but don't actually believe. They're not real Christian. It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense when we see what's happened to our churches. His story is just one story of many other stories.
Obligation or something.
It's a community thing. They want to have social networking, social contacts. Yeah.
Quit using the big buzzwords. Network.
But yeah, when you read, it's like, I don't plan to talk about these things. I'm not looking to talk about these things, and then you see them, and it's like, they're there in the Bible, and there always seem to be the things that are the least popular things to talk about.
And it's so frustrating to see friends that I know, that just don't get it. Mm-hmm. But there's nothing you can read. You can't jam it down their throat, and you can't. Everybody knows I don't drink, so that's the only thing I got going.
Well, even many Christian conservatives would actually be a little bit nervous about this lecture that or Bible study that I gave today.
Right.
Even though I was only expounding what the Bible was saying.
Right.
I was only taking it and explaining what it already was saying. And because of when you start talking about a seed line of people that God has chosen to do something, it's just so, it's so condemned these days. It's so unpopular. But I've determined from the get-go that I'd rather sit with 2 people talking about the truth than with thousands of people listening to me if I have to compromise or lie about it,
Yep.
And in the end, I actually read from Revelation 12, it really does, there is only really a remnant, a small group of true Bible-believing Christians. The rest are, there's a lot of people that claim to be Christians, but there really is only a true remnant.
Yeah, and the thing with the woman, the eagle, that things aren't coincidences. They're,
Right.
That's why else, why
Well, but you can almost relate her to the Statue of Liberty in a way.
Well, and the symbol, the reverse seal of America's Great Seal, you have the eagle on one side. Yeah, the eagle's on one side of that, right? That seal. Yeah, the eagle with the holding the talent, olive branches and all that.
13 of them.
Yeah, the 13. Yeah, all those numerics, they fit. These are all symbols of Israel. But then you read about Jesus as the capstone that the builders rejected. It's astounding.
Yeah.
There's too many coincidences. Yeah.
God didn't quit working in nations and rulers and just in the Bible.
But
He's
they're
still doing it to
cornerstone.
today.
Well, the great deception, I think, is instead of people realizing that America's God's chosen nation, they're trying to look at the people that say they are Jews today, the small nation of Israel, and they think that we're supposed to be looking over there for all these things that we're reading about. And I'm not saying they are or not true of the tribes, but the birthright and the blessings of Abraham are definitely over here at this, had carried throughout Europe and then came here. It's wherever Christianity has flourished, that's where God's people have been.
I don't even know if Christianity is it strong over there.
It's against the law to evangelize there.
Really?
Yeah, you go to jail for trying to
There may be a day
convert
when we
people.
have to put a fish out here so people know where to come to. We have to sneak around like they did back in the days of Jesus.
Yeah.
He was gone. Where they used the fish symbol to. That's where we can go and listen to the word, because.
Yeah. Well, it's like that in China right now.
Yeah.
They have to meet in secret because of the persecution. Hopefully, it'll never come to that because of that prophecy we read, where the woman was in a place where she could be nourished. No doubt nourished with the truth is where she was protected by the 2 wings of the eagle. But I think Satan's going to keep trying and trying. But I really do think that we're going to have the right to do what we do until the Antichrist finally takes over, and then I could see us for a short period of time then being, in a totally different mode,
Yep.
martyrdom mode, if you would.
Or angry.
12:08.
Oh yeah, I suppose I got to leave in about 20 minutes. Well, yeah, that was.
This was nice.
Yeah, I love going through the Bible verse by verse like that because
It's the only.
I wouldn't even talk about a subject like that if I didn't have to.
Right.
I'd be like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. People aren't going to like that,
No, I want to make everyone happy. Go home and be happy.